Today we are going to be talking about real food, eating real food. I do have some notes in my other phone, so I'm going to be looking down every now and then because I got to tell you, I got a bad memory. I'm 61. I have a bad memory. I can't remember things. And the way that I wrote it out, I asked ChatGPT to put everything in order so that I wouldn't forget things that I wanted to cover. If there is something that in the future I write something else to update something from here, I will add it in as a part two, and then I will label this a part one so that for those of you who are just tuning in can go back and listen to it. I'm not too sure I'm going to be doing playlists and things like that, but these are things that I wanted to cover. Our bodies need to eat. We need to eat. You know, sometimes it's hard because I feel that there are times in life where you mistreat your body. So I'm going to refer to some of my notes simply because I don't want to forget them and I don't want to repeat anything that I say now and then repeat it later. And I just don't want to do that. So here we go. To be honest with you, the way that I think about it is that the food supply isn't perfect anymore. Back in the days, we used to have, everything was fresh. I remember, being a kid and having milk delivered to our door every single morning at like 5 or 6 a.m. Everybody signed up for a subscription to get fresh milk. Okay. There were little tiny bottles, there were glass bottles, and somebody would pick them up at night, you would put them out, and then in the morning when you opened up your door, you had fresh milk sitting on, this little metal crate, and the metal crate would hold 6 little bottles of fresh milk. Talk about recycle, because you know what, today we don't recycle anything. And here we go, I lost some of my stuff. So here we go. I also wanted to talk about there's still so much other things that are so much better, than box or canned things. Like when you go to the store, the only thing that you see are things in a box, things in a can, things that are packaged, things that are pre-prepped, things that are frozen. And when you eat that type of stuff, your body will not feel good. Okay, I should know. I've been through that road before, long time ago. When I was 22 years old, I gained 25 pounds. And 25 pounds for me at that time, being young, because I think I was like, I don't think I was 22. I think I was 20. I was 22. Oh my God. I was 22 years old and I gained all this weight. One day I went to buy myself a bra and noticed that I was like a double D, and they have one of those mirrors that look, your back. I literally went home crying my eyeballs out because I couldn't believe what I saw in the mirror. And some people, listen, some people are happy, being a certain weight. For me, it was hard. I'm 5'1", and my body just hurt. I couldn't squat anymore. There were certain things that I just couldn't do. I would wake up in the morning and every piece of my body would hurt, and I just didn't want to feel like that. Um, you know, um, there's think about all the crash diets that we do that have beaten up our bodies during our lifetime. I remember how many times I went on the soup diet, and I went on the fucking rice diet, and I went on the protein diet, and I went on the, paleo diet. Let me tell you, I have done everything under the sun to lose weight, maintain weight loss. And I'm going to tell you, very little works, because sometimes, most of the time, if you really are not making real change, the weight will come back. You know, I remember back in the days, eating things that were packaged, granola bars, and all these crazy things that they have out now. Listen, this is not real food. Your body requires you to have real food. Our source today of real food is not the best, because we have pesticides, and in order for that, we got to break the bank. We got to use organic. Listen, I'm honest. I am not spending my money on organic. I can't do it. It's just like prices are expensive enough without having to now assort to paying, for a box of raspberries or blueberries, paying $7. I can't. I don't see it. Okay. I do try to eat as healthy as possible. There are times when, think I fall off track, but you know what? You get back on the horse and you continue to ride along. I kind of thought how sometimes, we put our bodies through so much. We shock our bodies with diets that are not meant to be held on to long term. Listen, that keto diet, let's not even talk about it. All right. I don't even know what the hell that is. I think that is the most ridiculous diet in the world. I no longer diet. I don't count calories. I don't count, how many meals I eat per day. I eat when I'm hungry. If I'm hungry at 12 o'clock, I'm going to eat something at 12 o'clock at night. Because usually if I'm eating something at 12, just means that I am so hyped up that I'm not going to be able to sleep for the next 2 or 3 hours. My schedule is really fucked up. Why? Because I was a waitress for 15 years. And at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, life began. Okay. We would stay up till 4 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. And life didn't begin, to go back to normal until 1 o'clock in the afternoon when you were getting ready to go back to work. So the schedule of a waitress is extremely different. Extremely different. Yeah, hold on a second. Let me refer back to my notes because I forget. Okay, I forget. I'm planning to get one of those little microphones because my husband sleeps at night, and I like to do these videos at night because night is when I am the most alert, the most energetic. In the morning, I'm tired, I'm sleepy, I don't want to be bothered. I just want to lay in bed, even if I don't get out of bed. But, you really need to treat the body well. You need to take your vitamins, you need to take your minerals, whatever you got to take inside and out. Use the retinol, stay out of the sun, all these other things that are anti-aging, but you need to start eating real food. I watch all these influencers do all of these crazy fucking diets. Listen, I've done it all. Okay. And not everything works for everybody, one thing that I will always remember is that there was once upon a time that somebody said, I'm kind of falling off track here, that somebody said, your body does not register chemicals. Your body does not know how to burn them. I go to the store, I read nutritional labels. I want to know what I'm eating. I want to know what I'm putting in my body. I want to last. Listen, every woman in my family has lasted till 99, 100 years old. I had a great grandmother who died when she was 116. Whether that's true or not true, listen, the daily news from the newspaper actually came to our house and took my great grandmother. Hold on a second. I was turning off my heater because even though I live in the mountains and it is summertime, it's always super cold. And Daily News came over and she was dancing and they took a picture of her and I actually have that picture. Somewhere away, I don't know, but she did come out in the Daily News, so we do have a picture of her dancing at 116 years old. And women last a long time in our family. I want to be able to be okay. I don't want to be able to not squat when I am 80. I want to be able to squat, you know. I want to be able to do things. I want to be able to lift weights. I have a weight set that I use. Some days I lightweight, other days I medium weight, other days I heavier weight. Heavier weight for me is 10 pounds. That's it. You know, I'm not gonna go, I'm not trying to be muscle woman or anything like that. I just want to stay healthy. I want to have a strong neck that doesn't deceive me and say how old I am. You know, I don't care. People ask me how old I am. I don't care. I'm 61. Okay. I'm not going to hide. I'm not going to lie about my age. That's what it is. Age comes with wisdom. I love the wisdom that I have. You know, getting back to eating. You know, like I said, I do read nutritional labels, and most of the time, I gotta be honest. I am scared of the things on the label. I am scared to put something in my body that my body will not recognize. It's the weirdest ingredients. You don't know how to pronounce them. Listen, you are not eating real food. You know, sometimes it makes you wonder, you know, because we are eating a lot of things that are banned in other countries, you know, and that's just not cool, period, you know. The foods that I eat, I'm going to be honest with you, I keep them simple. I eat the same thing every day, every day. There's once in a blue moon that I do change, you know, in between. But I'll eat that for a few days. And like I said, I keep it simple. I batch everything. I batch chicken, rice, beans, cassava, mashed cassava, so good. You know, you add a little bit of, you stay with a little bit of water, you keep it a little bit wet, you add in some butter. You know, I eat butter all the time. I eat olive oil all the time. I eat real food, you know. I am not eating margarine. I mean, not eating something that tastes like margarine. You know, I don't eat sauces at all. No sauces. Thai chili sauce and ketchup and bourbon sauce. Listen, they're all filled with sugar, chemicals, and preservatives. I keep them off my diet. Um, I also eat plantains, you know. Um, I also eat eggs. I love eggs. Give me eggs in any way. Um, Anything that has eggs in it, I'm online. Egg salad, scrambled eggs, boiled eggs, omelets, fried eggs. You name it, I'm an egg eater. All my pregnancies, I had tons of eggs. Never had a cholesterol problem, you know. I don't eat as much eggs now as I used to, but I still eat some eggs. I make soups. Okay, I make funky soups. You know, pesto bean soup. You know, gnocchi soup with marry me sauce, which is amazingly good. It's cream with pesto and sun-dried tomatoes and fresh basil. Amazing. Um, I also eat vegetables. I do keep vegetables. I do eat vegetables that don't get me bloated. Spinach. I barely eat broccoli, barely eat cauliflower. And it's not because I don't like them. I love them. I just don't like the way they make me feel. So I kind of have to give those up just a little bit. Asparagus, once in a blue moon. I know that it's going to make me feel not good. So I choose only to have it either when I go out or whatever the case. Um, I do eat carbs. I don't believe in that whole crazy, oh my God, you know, no carbs, low carbs, bullshit. I'm going to eat carbs. Carbs keep you full. Carbs are in vegetables. Carbs are in, um, you know, vegetables and fruits, okay? And a whole bunch of other things. And I feel that carbs are necessary. There was a once upon a time where I was a vegan, okay, vegetarian slash vegan for about 2 years. And I'm going to tell you, I never got sick. But I didn't think that I could sustain it for so long. I think I got a divorce and I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna eat meat. But I'm gonna tell you, I was very healthy. Didn't get sick, didn't feel bad, didn't have any joint problems. I just stopped eating meat. That's it. But then I went back to eating it, but now I eat it in a healthier way. Mostly I eat chicken. I barely eat beef. That's like a once in a blue situation. I like some type of fish. Um, I am not a fan of certain fishes. Some of them I do love, but choose not to eat because of how they're raised. But one of my favorite is mahi mahi, and I do love codfish. Those are like my two favorites, and I do eat those once in a while. Like I said, I tend to eat the same thing almost every day. I barely change. My meals consist of my lunches and my early dinners, because that's another thing. I try to eat as early as possible. My dinner, 5:30, no later than 6. I try my best to eat, you know, a good meal. Rice, beans, um, some type of salad, or I gotta be honest, I barely eat salad. Um, but vegetables. Vegetables are important. I do have veggies. But yeah, so anyway. I also have what I've made a homemade 7 blend spice mix to add flavor to my chicken. Let me tell you something. Everybody that has tasted my chicken has loved my chicken. Okay. I just wanted to say I do eat plenty of rice. I eat rice every day. Every day, most of my meals consist of half a cup of rice and half a cup of beans. And then I add veggies on the side, or a guacamole, or some squash, or some peppers with some basil sauce. It just depends what I'm making. I do make special rices. I do make this basil rice, which is amazingly so good. And I try to eat, like I said, as pure as possible. I make everything from scratch, and I put everything in the freezer, and I put it in serving size so that I know how much I'm eating. I don't have to weigh food. I don't have to constantly count calories. I know what's in it, what's approximately in it. So I heard this recently, you intuitively eat. You already know how much. I'm going to be honest with you. I barely ever reach my goal, because I do eat very little, and I just can't help it. Older people eat less, and I am not a big eater, but I do like to eat good, because I feel like when I eat good, I am fuller for longer. So when I skimp on meals and all this fad with granola bars and protein bars, listen, I have done it all. And I have always been starving, except the time that I eat real food. Food sustains you, it fuels your body, you know. So let's see what else I have here. Because, like I said, I don't want to skip anything. So when I cook the food, I lightly cook my food in, I actually coat it in flour because I feel like it keeps the inside tender. And then I saute it in olive oil. And I avoid all seed oil. I use extra virgin olive oil or extra virgin avocado oil, and those are the only two oils I use to fry or saute anything. Okay, vegetable oils do not exist in this house because they're so bad for you. You know, the whole thing with, the heart health. You know what I'm talking about. You know what, you know what heart health oil talk about. They say that that's the worst stuff that you can put in your body. When you're going to restaurants, listen, you're having the worst of the worst. Okay, they're giving you the lowest grade, and if you're really spending huge amounts of money, yeah, it is a good cut. It is a better stuff, but I'm gonna tell you, it's still not better than fucking doing it yourself. You know. Um, let's see. Reasons that I do not eat any seed oils, because they contribute to you having inflammation. They contribute to the fact that you can't walk properly. They contribute to the fact that your knees are collecting water and you're having a hard time bending your knees, squatting over, moving your hips. Your body will be damaged by all these seed oils, and you will not feel good. You will always feel inflamed. There was a once upon a time that I felt like that. My stomach was inflamed, my arms hurt, everything was inflamed. And little by little, I started changing. I couldn't even squat down without having to hold myself on to things in order for me to bring myself down and bring myself up, because my legs were filled with water. When I changed all those seed oils and started using only extra virgin olive oil or avocado oil, all of it disappeared. Like all of it. So for those of you that are using all those oils, listen, change the oils. Stop eating candies that come from the food process aisle. Stop eating things that come, in a bag, in a can. Stop buying foods that are prepared. Listen, you don't know what's in it. Half of the packaged stuff that you buy is not even real food. If you look at the back, it's got traces of, milk powder and just let me tell you, a lot of the things that you're thinking that you're eating something healthy, you're eating oils, you're eating palm oil. Listen, palm oil, it is literally banned in many places. I can't tell you where, but it's banned in many places. We here still have it. You eat it because you choose to eat it. Learn to read the labels. Know what you're putting in your body. You're not going to fucking go to a party and they're going to give you this white powder and you're going to just, somebody says eat it. You're not going to fucking eat it. You don't even know if it's poison, You don't even know if the food that you are buying is really quality food. It's been sitting in a freezer for decades. There's no vitamins in it. Everything has been stripped down to the minimum, and you're just, that's what it is. It's no good, no good. Let's see what else. I still do eat eggs. Like I said, I eat them in all kinds of ways. I'm an egg junkie. I love eggs. I can eat them anytime, any day, whatever, the way that they're served. Okay, just don't give them to me raw. I don't eat raw eggs. But I try not to be too greedy and eat them all the time, because what happens is that you could end up with high cholesterol. As far as cooking, like I said, I use only those special oils. And let me tell you, I definitely use butter. I am not using margarine. I'm not eating something that supposedly tastes like margarine. I am not doing this margarine that supposedly it's light. I buy regular butter. I make my pound cake and my cookies. I make it with sugar. I'm not substituting anything. I have been a failure when it comes to uh, substituting certain things. My cakes come out too wet when I put applesauce in them. So it's just too much. And I said, you know what? In the 1950s, people were slim, and people were having real food. You know, um, one of the things I do not do, I'm trying. I'm not going to say I'm perfect. I try not to snack between meals. I heard that that is very important. Learn to fast from the nighttime to the morning. You have given your body a break during the night as you sleep. So learn how to eat better. Let's see. Like I said, I batch everything, cookies, cakes. I also make this sweet potato muffin with added pecans that I enjoy from time to time. The things that are bad, you don't eat them every day. You eat them when you want to. The reason that I keep here pound cake, cookies, and the sweet potato muffins is because every now and then I would like to have a little sweet. And what I do is I make a full pan and I cut them up in pieces, freeze them individually, and then throw them in a bag. Right now they are downstairs in the refrigerator, downstairs in the freezer. And I take them out as I want them. So whenever I make a batch of something, I can make 2 or 3 batches of something and it'll literally last me a few months. You know, it's not something that I have every day. It's something that you have over time. And I do different things because I don't want to eat the same dessert every day. One day I want to have a cannoli cookie, and then the next day I want to have a lemon ricotta cake, and then the following day I want to make a yogurt cake. So, it's very different. I also try, I did try to make a shortbread cookie with hazelnut. The hazelnut gave it a thumbs down simply because I used the Great Value from Walmart, and that did not turn out good. But let me see what else I want to share with you. Okay, let's talk about the foods that are in the aisles. Imagine if you wake up in the morning. First, let's talk about this. Most of these foods are labeled as healthy, and I'm going to tell you, they are not. They're nowhere near healthy. They're not even called real food. Granola bars, protein bars, cereal bars, meal replacement shakes, and many other sugary snacks. They're highly processed. When you are on a highly processed diet, what happens is your body does not know what to do with all the extra bad stuff that you're giving it, and it just becomes a balloon. You become a balloon. You become very bloated. You become inflamed. When you become inflamed, your body hurts. Certain parts of your body hurt more than others, but you become inflamed. You also have, in my own experience, I feel that when you have these type of foods, I feel like you get hungry faster. I feel like real food actually fuels your body, and I feel like you have more food for a longer amount of time than when you eat all these foods, special foods, carbs, and oh my God, something is low in carbs, these high protein things. Let me tell you something. Everything I picked up, I used to immediately go to the protein. If it didn't have a good protein, I wouldn't get it. But then I started learning a little bit more. Higher protein doesn't mean necessarily that you are going to be okay. Because what happens is you could buy something that's high in protein, but it can also be high in sugar and high in many other things. So you just don't know. You gotta learn to read labels. I will talk to you about that more in a little while. I personally, I'm gonna be honest with you, I eat bread, I eat bagels, I eat pizza, bacon, I eat chocolate. But I'm gonna tell you, those are only on special occasions. It's not something that is part of my diet every day. Everything in moderation, everything, portioned out. And my belief is that when you eat those things every single day, they contribute to you having some type of inflammation and eventually having other health issues that you may have. Nowadays, everything's got sugar, everything's got salt, everything. Maybe not everything, but mostly everything. Mostly everything carries salt and sugar. When you are constantly eating those, you will have issues. Most of the time at night, I kind of crave a little snack, but it's mainly because I do not have, I don't eat sugar during the day. So when the nighttime comes, I'm like, I want something sweet. Sometimes I give in, and other times I just say, you know what? You are waiting until tomorrow morning, you know? Let's see what else I want to talk to you about. Your body was designed to digest and use for fuel real food. It is not a list of chemicals and additives. Your body records that as something that's foreign. You know, you are not a robot. A robot has a better chance of living with a protein diet and just all the craziness, you know. One time I heard somebody a long time ago said, you know, you're not supposed to be eating chemicals. And when you eat chemicals, your body doesn't know what to do with them because it doesn't recognize them as food. So they kind of get stored somewhere in your body. They got to go somewhere, you know. I'm sure that some of it eliminates itself, maybe. But you really got to be careful what you're putting in your body, especially these days. Like when you go into the store, when I walk down the aisle, the only thing that I can see is junk food. The only place that I find the best things are in the dairy section, and the vegetable section and the fruit section. Other than that, there's not much else there. Excuse me. So let's see. So I feel like every day in your mind, the more you think about what you're going to eat and what you're going to put in your body, I think that sometimes you have certain choices that you have to make. They may not always be the right choices, but they could be the better choices for you. I also do use, when I go to the store, I use a Bobby approved app, which you scan everything at the supermarket and it tells you everything. What's in it, what's not in it, what's in it and that's bad for you. They'll highlight it in red letters, and then at the bottom they'll give you the what does that do to your body. So there's a lot of things that I scan when I go to the supermarket with the Bobby approved app. And so it tells you what additives and preservatives are in it, natural flavors, you know, anything that says natural flavors is not real food, okay? You know, and just all the kind of things that you're supposed to be avoiding, you know, eating. It also helps you compare products and also helps you choose certain products in, you know, kitchen staples. While I generally do not buy packaged food, there is a lot that I do buy, but I make everything. Trying to make more informed choices, better choices when I go to the supermarket. At the end of the day, nobody eats perfectly. There are days when I eat pretty horrible. There are days that I am so hungry that I say, you know what, I'm going to stop by McDonald's, or I'm going to stop by KFC and pick up some chicken with mashed potatoes. Listen, those days come. But I'll tell you right now, they are far in between. Like, the only time when I really do that is like if I go out to an appointment, I'm far away from home, and I don't have a thermos. I don't carry my food. I don't want to eat cold food that comes from, a container. So usually I'll stop in one of those places. I'll just have like a little hamburger, which is terrible but tastes amazing. Somebody is outside. Anyway, so at the end of the day, nobody's perfect in their eating. You are able to eat whatever you want, but just focus on eating the right things. I've been trying to eat the way people ate many years ago. And sometimes I follow these people that make, show you how life was back in the 1950s. And I wasn't born in the 1950s, but they show how they ate. They ate real food. They ate real food. And I'm going to tell you, they stayed thin. Yeah, they smoked a lot of cigarettes, but they stayed thin. So I think that the most important thing to do is to use simple ingredients, home cooked meals. Use processing food as much as possible. For me, I don't look at it as a diet. I look at it as a lifestyle. And it's what makes me feel good. I get so much joy in the kitchen when I am food prepping for myself, you know. Before I used to make things like yogurt cake and healthy cakes, and I would substitute everything to the point that it was unedible sometimes. It was either too sweet or, it didn't cook enough. And, so I had a lot of fails. And then one day I said, you know what? I'm just going to make pretend I'm in the 1950s and just cook real food with real fucking ingredients. So, I feel that in order for you to maintain yourself, stay young, stay vibrant, stay healthy, there are steps that you need to take when it comes to, feeling good and feeling, old. Listen, everybody goes down the same rabbit hole. We're all in line and we don't even know it, because we all have an expiration date here. But, not that I want this to take us another place, but listen, eat well, exercise, have peace of mind. If there is a second part to this video, anything that I remember, I will let you know. There is one more thing. Because I'm lactose intolerant and I can't really have lactose because it hurts my belly, in its place, I use canned coconut milk, unsweetened canned coconut milk. However, if you notice in recipes, you probably have to use, I heard like half of whatever regular milk would be, just because in most coconut milks there is water added to it. But anyway, thank you for being here. For those of you that are still here, eat real food. Listen, you won't regret it. And I'm going to tell you, your body will feel so good. You won't have any pain. Eat some rice, eat some pasta. I make my husband a chicken orzo soup with vegetables, celery, onions, carrots, and He loves that darn thing. Okay, about 3 weeks ago, I had to fucking make the recipe like 4 times. Okay, because I can't even seem to keep it, in inventory. But anyway, it's been nice talking to all of you. For those of you that have made it to the end, please take a moment to subscribe, to share this with somebody, who's having a hard time. If you have any questions, list them down below. Thank you so much for being here, and